Today, Oprah Winfrey is one of the most influential women in the world of media. Millions of people know her as a television host, producer, and global cultural leader. But her life did not begin with success. Oprah Winfrey was born in 1954 in rural Mississippi, in a very poor family. During her early childhood, she was raised by her grandmother on a small farm. The family had very little money, and life was often difficult. So how did a girl who grew up in Oprah Winfrey is one of the most recognized and influential figures in modern media. She is known as a television host, producer, entrepreneur, and media leader. For several decades, her work has influenced television, culture, and public conversation in the United States and around the world. Oprah first became widely known through her television program, The Oprah Winfrey Show. The show began nationally in the United States in 1986 and ran for 25 years, ending in 2011. During that time, it became one of the most successful daytime talk shows in television history. Millions of viewers watched the program regularly, and it was broadcast in many countries. Unlike many traditional talk shows, Oprah's program often focused on personal stories, social issues, health, relationships, and self-improvement. Her style of communication was direct, empathetic, and personal. Because of this, many viewers felt a strong connection with her. Beyond television, Oprah also became a successful media entrepreneur. She founded Harpo Productions, her own production company, which produced The Oprah Winfrey Show and other television projects. Later, she helped launch OWN, The Oprah Winfrey Network, a television network that began broadcasting in 2011. Another well-known project is Oprah's Book Club, which started in 1996 on her talk show. Books selected for the club often became bestsellers because of the attention and influence of her audience. Oprah's impact goes far beyond entertainment. She has influenced discussions about education, personal development, and social issues. She has also supported many charitable causes and educational initiatives, including the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for girls in South Africa. Because of her work in media, business, and philanthropy, Oprah Winfrey is often considered one of the most influential women in the world. But her journey to success began with many struggles. Oprah Gail Winfrey was born on January 29, 1954, in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, in the United States. Her parents were not married at the time of her birth. Her mother, Vanita Lee, was a young domestic worker, and her father, Vernon Winfrey, later served in the United States Army. Because her mother needed to work, Oprah spent most of her early childhood living with her grandmother, Hattie Mae Lee, in rural Mississippi. Life in that small rural community was very poor. Oprah and her grandmother lived in a small house on a farm. The family had very little money. Some basic things that many people take for granted today were not easily available. However, Oprah's grandmother believed strongly in discipline and education. Even though their life was difficult, she made sure Oprah learned important skills. One of the most important things Oprah's grandmother taught her was how to read. Oprah learned to read at a very young age. In interviews and autobiographical accounts, Oprah has explained that she began reading before she entered school. Books quickly became a very important part of her life. Reading opened the door to a larger world. Through books, Oprah could imagine new ideas, new places, and new possibilities. She read the Bible, children's books, and later many other types of literature. Her strong reading ability helped her perform well in school later in life. Another place where Oprah began developing confidence was in church. Her grandmother often took her to church services. There, Oprah sometimes stood in front of the congregation to recite Bible verses or speak. People noticed her strong voice and her ability to speak clearly in front of others. Because of this, people in the community gave her a nickname. They sometimes called her the preacher. Even as a small child, she showed an unusual ability to communicate and express ideas. When Oprah was about 6 years old, she moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to live with her mother. Life in Milwaukee was very different from rural Mississippi. The city environment was more crowded and more complicated. Her mother worked long hours as a domestic worker, which meant Oprah often had less supervision. During these years, Oprah faced serious personal difficulties. In later interviews and in her public statements, she shared that she experienced abuse from several relatives and people she trusted while growing up. These experiences were extremely painful and confusing for a young person. As Oprah entered her early teenage years, she struggled emotionally. She has openly spoken about how lonely and lost she sometimes felt during that time. These years were among the most difficult periods of her life. When she was 14, Oprah became pregnant, but her baby was born prematurely and did not survive. This was another deeply painful moment in her youth. However, soon after this period, her life began to change direction. Oprah moved to Nashville, Tennessee, to live with her father, Vernon Winfrey. Her father was strict, organized, and focused strongly on education. He believed that discipline and learning were the most important tools for building a better future. Under her father's guidance, Oprah's life became more stable. He required her to read books regularly, complete school assignments, and follow clear rules. At first, this structure was challenging, but it soon helped Oprah rebuild her confidence and focus on her education. During high school, Oprah began to participate in school activities that involved speaking. She joined speech and debate competitions. Her ability to communicate clearly and emotionally quickly stood out. She entered local speech contests and often won awards. Judges and teachers noticed that she had a natural talent for public speaking. These early competitions helped Oprah discover a path that matched her abilities. At the same time, she continued to perform well academically. Her communication skills, confidence, and strong school performance helped her receive opportunities that would shape her future. One important opportunity came when she won a local public speaking contest called Miss Fire Prevention, organized by a local radio station in Nashville. As part of the recognition, she was invited to speak on the radio. This moment introduced her to the world of broadcasting for the first time. Soon after, she was offered a part-time job reading news on WVOL, a local radio station. This was an important early step in her career. For a young student, working in radio was an exciting opportunity. Oprah later attended Tennessee State University, a historically black university in Nashville. There she studied communication and speech. While she was still a student, her broadcasting career continued to grow. In 1971, when she was only 17 years old, Oprah won the Miss Black Tennessee beauty pageant. This achievement brought more attention to her speaking ability and public presence. Not long after that, she was hired by WLAC-TV in Nashville. She became a news reporter and co-anchor for the local television station. At the time, she was one of the youngest television news anchors in the city. Working in television gave Oprah valuable experience in media, journalism, and communication. She learned how television programs were produced and how audiences responded to different styles of presentation. These early experiences in radio and television became the foundation of her future career. They allowed her to develop the communication skills that later made her famous around the world. However, Oprah's path to success was still far from complete. Many challenges still lay ahead, and her biggest opportunity had not yet arrived. But her biggest opportunity was still ahead. After beginning her career in local television, Oprah Winfrey continued working as a news reporter and anchor. In the early 1970s, she worked at WLAC-TV in Nashville, where she became one of the youngest news anchors in the city. Later she moved to WJZ-TV in Baltimore, Maryland, where she worked as a news co-anchor. However, working as a traditional news anchor was not easy for Oprah. Television news during that time required a very formal and controlled style. News anchors were expected to speak in a neutral tone and avoid showing strong emotions. Oprah's personality was different. She was naturally expressive and empathetic. When she reported difficult stories, she sometimes showed emotion. While this made her more human and relatable, it did not always match the expectations of traditional news broadcasting. Because of this, the station eventually decided to remove her from the evening news anchor position. For Oprah, this moment felt like a professional failure. She had worked hard to build a career in journalism, and suddenly that path seemed uncertain. But this difficult moment led to a new opportunity. Instead of continuing in traditional news, Oprah was moved to another program at the same station. The show was called People Are Talking. It was a daytime talk show where hosts discussed everyday topics and interviewed guests. This format was very different from formal news reporting. Instead of reading serious news stories, Oprah could have real conversations with people. She could listen to their experiences, ask questions, and express emotions naturally. This environment suited her personality perfectly. Viewers quickly noticed that Oprah had a special ability to connect with people. She listened carefully and showed genuine interest in the stories of her guests. Her communication style felt authentic and warm. The program became successful in the Baltimore area, and Oprah's confidence as a television host began to grow. A few years later, another major opportunity appeared. In 1984, Oprah moved to Chicago to host a struggling morning talk show called AM Chicago. At the time, the program had low ratings and few viewers. The television station hoped a new host could improve the show. Oprah accepted the challenge. Her approach to the show was different from many other talk programs. Instead of focusing only on celebrities, she discussed real-life topics that many viewers cared about. These topics included relationships, family life, personal challenges, and social issues. Her honest and emotional style resonated with audiences. Within a few months, the ratings for AM Chicago increased dramatically. The program quickly became the most popular talk show in its time slot in Chicago. Because of this success, the show was expanded and renamed. In 1986, it officially became The Oprah Winfrey Show. This new program was broadcast nationally across the United States. Soon it reached millions of viewers every day. Oprah's ability to connect with people through storytelling, empathy, and honest conversation made the show unique. The program discussed many different topics, including health, personal growth, relationships, education, and social challenges. Oprah often shared her own experiences as well, which helped audiences trust her even more. As the show grew in popularity, Oprah Winfrey became a household name in American media. Her influence expanded beyond television. People across the country began discussing the ideas and topics that appeared on her program. However, Oprah made another important decision that would shape her future. Instead of working only as a television host, she wanted greater control over her program. In 1986, she created her own production company called Harpo Productions. The name Harpo is simply Oprah spelled backward. Through Harpo Productions, Oprah gained ownership and creative control over The Oprah Winfrey Show. This was an unusual step for a television host at the time. Most hosts did not own their programs. By controlling the production of the show, Oprah gained greater independence and financial power. This decision also allowed her to develop new projects in television and media. Harpo Productions later produced other television programs, films, and media content. The company became a major part of Oprah's growing influence in the entertainment industry. This decision marked a major turning point in her career. Oprah was no longer only a television presenter. She was becoming a powerful media business leader who controlled her own content and creative direction. Her talk show continued to grow in popularity year after year. Millions of viewers watched it daily, and it remained one of the most successful daytime talk shows in television history. With each season, Oprah's influence expanded further. Now Oprah was not only a TV host, she was becoming a powerful media entrepreneur. As The Oprah Winfrey Show continued to grow in popularity, Oprah Winfrey began expanding her work far beyond hosting a television program. Over time, she built what many people describe as a media empire. One of the key steps in this expansion was her production company, Harpo Productions, which she founded in 1986. Through this company, Oprah produced her own talk show and later created other television programs and films. Owning the production company gave her creative control and allowed her to build long-term success in the media industry. Oprah also expanded into publishing. In 2000, she launched a magazine called the Oprah magazine in partnership with Hearst Communications. The magazine focused on personal growth, health, and inspiration. It became widely read and remained in print for many years. Another area where Oprah had a strong influence was literature. In 1996, she introduced Oprah's Book Club on The Oprah Winfrey Show. In this segment, Oprah selected books that she believed were meaningful and important. The impact of Oprah's Book Club was remarkable. When Oprah recommended a book, sales often increased dramatically. Many titles selected for the club quickly became bestsellers. Because of this influence, publishers and authors began paying close attention to Oprah's recommendations. The phrase, Oprah's Book Club selection, became a powerful signal in the book industry. Oprah also continued expanding her presence in television. In 2011, she launched OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Network, in partnership with Discovery Communications. OWN is a television network that features programs about lifestyle, personal development, interviews, and storytelling. The network allowed Oprah to continue creating media content even after the Oprah Winfrey Show ended that same year. Beyond media and business, Oprah has also made a strong commitment to philanthropy and education. Throughout her career, she has supported many charitable causes. She has donated millions of dollars to educational programs, scholarships, and community projects. Oprah has often explained that education played a crucial role in her own life, so she believes strongly in helping young people receive educational opportunities. One of the most well-known examples of her philanthropic work is the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for girls in South Africa. The school opened in 2007 and provides education and leadership training for academically talented girls from disadvantaged backgrounds. Oprah personally supported the creation of the school and has remained involved in its development. Because of her work in media, education, and charity, Oprah Winfrey has become one of the most influential cultural figures in modern history. But what makes Oprah different from many other successful media personalities? One important quality is empathy. Oprah is known for her ability to understand people's emotions and experiences. During interviews, she often listens carefully and allows guests to share their stories openly. This ability helped audiences feel connected to her. Another quality is authenticity. Oprah has often spoken honestly about her own life experiences, including difficult moments from her childhood. By sharing her personal story, she created an atmosphere of honesty and trust with her audience. A third important quality is resilience. Oprah faced many hardships early in her life. She experienced poverty, personal trauma, and professional challenges. Yet she continued moving forward and building her career step by step. These qualities helped Oprah transform her life and influence millions of people. Her story offers an important lesson. Difficult beginnings do not decide your future. What matters more are the choices you make, the effort you invest, and the courage to continue when life becomes difficult. Oprah Winfrey's life reminds us that success is not only about wealth or fame. It is also about using your voice and your influence to help others. Her journey teaches us three powerful ideas. Believe in your voice. Learn from your struggles. And when success comes, use it to create opportunities for others.